Good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 o'clock. I want to go ahead and get started. My name is Katie Gerberding, and I am the Director of Customer Technology Support here at DEKRA. And I wanted to thank all of you guys for joining today for 30 minutes. We wanted to share some exciting news with you guys and kind of catch you up to date on what's been going on here. I am recording this on the off chance that you want to go back and listen to it, or folks at your facilities weren't able to attend. So we will post the recording once completed. We do have everybody muted because we have quite a bit to cover, and a lot of folks are going to be on the phone. So if you do have any questions, if you want to enter them into the chat, we'll take a look at those and try to answer any questions towards the end. So again, thank you guys all for joining today. We are very excited on behalf of the entire Kansas City team, the IT team and the client success team. We are very excited to announce today that we are undertaking, and it's already in process, a very large upgrade to our InsightVia platform. So what we wanted to do today is to kind of introduce this concept, talk you guys through what's going to happen, the timeline, next steps, and even show you a little bit at the end of what it's going to look like and what we've done so far. So why are we doing this upgrade? We are doing this for you. So we were getting a lot of client feedback around different functions and technologies that they would like to see in the tool. So we realize it hasn't undergone a major upgrade in some time. So we're wanting to improve the basic functions to, common standards that you would see in software in 2022. So to have a similar look and feel to, the solutions you're using on your desktop, or, a big thing that we are focused on is mobile options. So it seems like today we can do everything on our phone, and, whether it's personal or professional, we want that to apply to our system as well. And it gives us an opportunity to add new functionality and some common requests that we have received over the last year. So a lot is going into making this upgrade very successful and very robust. And a lot of it, again, is based on your client feedback. So what exactly are we doing? This is a ground up rework of the current InsightVia platform that you have. So it will have a totally different look and feel, different interface, new mobile platform. So today the mobile options for InsightVia are very limited, but we will have a new mobile platform that will work on both Android and iOS devices, whether that be mobile phones or tablets. New dashboard and reporting options so that, as much data as you're putting in, you're able to get back out and make business decisions based on it. A new look and feel, and new permissions and granular permissions and alerts, and the ability to customize it even more than you can today to have it fit the needs of your business. We have some clients who have a foot in the former, which is InsightVia, and also have a foot in one of our other solutions that we have called Adaptive, and both of that they're going to be combined into a single solution. So from a maintenance perspective, that'll make it easier because we're going to only be maintaining one system. And for some of our users who are doing behavior-based safety, they'll be able to do all of their work in a single solution. The modules that we are going to be working on are preventative maintenance, incidents, audits, training, policy manual, and then some of the smaller solutions that we have available for different for uses. So we're actually working on preventative maintenance right now. So while that's exciting, I'm sure everybody's wondering when is this going to take place? And you can see from the timeline, it's actually taking place now. So the IT team has been really busy working even since the fall in creating some of the base structure around signing in and single sign-on and things like that. And then since January, they've been working on the PMA module. So that was our first module to come out, and it is scheduled to be completed and ready for beta testing here in the next 2 months or so. So we will talk about kind of what the transition process looks like and how that's going to work in a few slides. But the plan is to have pretty closely following the web and the mobile to be released at the same time. That might get a little bit, but pretty close. Both versions of the app will be ready at the same time. And then you can see the plan is to have all of the major modules completed and available for client use before the end of 2022. So lots of work going on here and lots of work for our clients, or for our IT team. And as you can see from the bottom, this does not mean we're not also working on Insight Via. So as needed, we are still making edits and tweaks to Insight Via to make sure that it remains a viable solution while we go through this process. So a lot of clients that we've talked to individually about this, one of their questions is how will we transition from the old to the new? So how will we go from the current version of Insight Via that you have to the new adaptive suite? As you can tell from the rollout, the timeline, the modules will be updated one at a time and will become available one at a time. Because of this, it gives you a little bit of flexibility in how you transition. Some clients have expressed interest in transitioning as each module becomes available so that it's not such a huge change for their end users. They can get used to each one as it comes available. Some don't want to work in two platforms. They want to wait until all of their modules are available and switch all at once. So there will be options and we'll have the ability to customize an upgrade plan for each client that best supports what works for you. The client support team, your client success manager, or your account manager will work with you to figure out what makes the most sense for you and your company. Both systems will share data with single sign-on, and the releases won't impact Insight Via. So, you can still, if you use one solution in the adaptive and one solution in Insight Via, it's all going to work together. There will be, as each module comes out, there will be test environments available, and each client, you'll be able to test out the new module with your production data that's familiar to you to see how it's going to work and how things are going to look prior to actually rolling it out to productive use to your larger audience. And again, your client success manager will work with you on what that plan looks like. There will come a point in time where Insight Via will be stabilized. It will just kind of be what it is. And part of the benefit of bringing these two solutions into one is that it allows us to continue to focus on adaptive. So going forward, we'll have a roadmap and only new features will be added to adaptive. We also will be redoing the training. So we'll have role-based training for all of the modules. So we'll have training for the end users, we'll have training for the admins, and that training will come in the form of training materials, job aids, videos, things like that. And again, your client success manager can work with you to figure out what makes the most sense for getting your end users comfortable and your admins comfortable with the new platform. So a few other questions that we have gotten from clients is, do you have to upgrade? So not necessarily. We hope that as you guys start to see the new technology and what it's going to look like, that upgrading will be a non-issue, that you'll be as excited about it as we are, and that you'll naturally want to upgrade. But we know that business decisions and business processes sometimes allow for you to not be able to take advantage of it from day one. There will be options and opportunities to upgrade. Timelines can be set. The current version of Insight Via will not go away, but as I mentioned in the previous slide, it will no longer be updated. So eventually, it will be very beneficial to move to the new so that you can take advantage of the new functionality and the new options and opportunities that will become available with that. Eventually, so I said earlier that the current version of Insight View won't go away. At some point in the future, it likely will. It will reach its its usage will run out, but it will be quite a bit in the future. So again, as we start to publish what this is going to look like and what the options are, if there is some reason that you don't feel like you are able to upgrade or want to upgrade, reach out to your client success manager, your account manager, and have that conversation, and we'll figure that out. The new system will be maintained in a very similar fashion to the old. We're planning to have a roadmap where we will take client requests and utilize client feedback to make sure that the tool is meeting the needs of your industries and your companies. So we'll have more information on that as it transpires and it comes out, and how that whole process is going to work to have it maintained. The plan is to potentially have fewer releases in a year of new code, but have them be the bigger releases. And so we'll be sending more information on that out over the course of the rest of this year as we complete this upgrade. The current Insight View requests that we have, so you're probably thinking, oh, I logged a ticket last week. What's going to happen with that? So we are still making some minor changes to Insight View. If a ticket is something that the time spent on the code can be reused in the new, those are still being done. Bug fixes, things that aren't working right are being fixed. If you have a functionality request, which a lot of clients are sending those in as they know that we're doing this, and that's a great thing. We appreciate that. Those are being logged into queues for the new functionality. And as we're reviewing each app and making updates and changes and figuring out what it's going to look like, we're going back and pulling all of those tickets and making sure we're meeting as many of those requests as we can and make sense. So by and large, Insight View is still being maintained in conjunction with the new development. But some of the nice to haves and more complicated things will likely come out in the new versus what we have now. So I'm going to turn it over to Keith, and Keith is going to do a short demo kind of give you guys an overview of what this is going to potentially look like. Again, this isn't meant to be a training. It's meant to just be, give you guys kind of a taste of what it's going to look like, make it feel real to you so that we really are working on it, and kind of show you some of the progress we've been made. So Keith, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Hello. Right. Getting my screen share set up. Katie, are you seeing my screen well?
I am.
All right, fantastic. Hello, I'm Keith Boyer. I'm a project analyst who works with the Kansas City IT team, assisting in the modernization efforts. Today, I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of our modernization efforts so far. Most of this overview is going to focus on updates to pages that are pages and features that are available across modules, with a small focus on some module-specific functionality that we're currently working on towards the end. So first off, we're going to begin with a look at the updates to the roles admin page, which include role configuration and role permissions. This is the look of the new admin page. Any of you who have Some experience with the adaptive platform will recognize the new look and feel of the page here. Significant factors and improvements on the roles page. We are able to create roles. You can create your own individual roles and assign appropriate permissions for functions within your organization that may differ slightly from the standard practices provided. We can see here the list of roles and a brief look at the customization options for the roles. I come in to edit a role. Here, we can see our granular permissions tree. Each of these checkbox settings corresponds to a permission or setting for a feature within the platform. So these can be customized to meet your exact needs. Particular functionalities can be disabled by unchecking a permission within the platform. All right. Next, we are going to take a look at the improvements to our users management page. This is the administration page for your users. Here you can create individual users. You can import, bulk import large lists of users. You can filter your entire user list by searching any value provided in one of the columns within the table, and you have some advanced filtering options. To add on top of the granular permissions tree that we showed in the roles admin page, you can also customize the permissions, of individual users. Here we will select permissions. And again, we have access to the full permissions tree to enable particular functions for an individual user that may differ from their broader role that's assigned to them. All right, we'll move on to take a look at the improved organization units page. Here you can see your entire organization units tree. You can see the hierarchical levels to which they're assigned. You can drag and drop them to change that level. You can add new root units, import an entire organization tree, and you can also add subunits below. You can click on any unit in this list to see the users that are assigned to this organization unit and the departments assigned to this organization unit. As a part of our improvement efforts, we are expanding UI options within the platform. Here you can see on our visual settings page 11 different themes that are available, that will become available within the new platform. These themes allow you to apply them at the global or individual level, meaning you can select a particular theme and apply it to all users across your organization, or you can select an individual theme to customize your own view. All right. That's a kind of a broad overview of some of the improvements we're making to admin pages. This is the Manage Systems admin page, focusing in on our upgrade efforts on the PMA CMMS module. So here on this list page, we have a demonstration of some of the UI UX improvements we are seeking to make on all of our list pages in practice. So you can see here that we have eliminated the actions buttons that we saw on the previous list pages, and instead we have driven actions to hyperlinks that appear in the appropriate column themselves, meaning that the functionality would allow me to click delete within the delete field and delete this line item without having to do multiple clicks. I will also briefly use this page to demonstrate our single sign-on between the current Insight VIA platform and the future upgraded Insight VIA platform. I will also demonstrate very briefly backwards compatibility. So currently we have backwards compatibility set up for the systems. To demonstrate this, I am going to create a new system titled Hello from Adaptive. I will save our new system here. We can see Hello from Adaptive in the list. Here we see Login to Insight VIA. Going to click that. This will take a brief minute to load as I am on the test server. Here we are in the current Insight VIA platform. I will bring us to the preventative maintenance page for the current Insight VIA platform. we will come to the second page of the table. And here we can see Hello from Adaptive, the system which I just entered. That'll be all for our overview today. We will continue to make improvements and work along the modernization efforts. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Keith. I was really glad that we were able to do that because, again, we wanted to make it real. You know, it's one thing to see PowerPoint slides, but it's another thing to see that it's actually real and tangible and being worked on and in process as we speak. So we will continue to communicate. I'm a big advocate on continuing to provide you guys updates on what we're working on, how we're doing, how the progress is going. So we're kind of working through some options and opportunities on how we can continue to communicate with you guys around this project. Your client success manager, or what we formerly called account manager, it's always going to be a source of, if you have questions, concerns, challenges, if you have ideas, if now's probably the time. If you have thoughts or suggestions, don't hesitate to submit them. I can't promise that every single thing we'll get in on the first version, but we can certainly, there's some things that we'd like to do, but they won't be in this first version. They'll be in version 2. So this is not a one and done thing, and this is the start of a whole new system and process for keeping things up to date. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. However, if anybody has a question, if you want to type it in the chat, we have a couple minutes to answer a couple questions, or we can let everybody go. Hopefully everybody's so excited they're stunned into silence. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard a question. So yeah, I'm not seeing any questions out there. So, well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you. Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you? When
Good,
will
how
we
are
be
you?
able to use Android systems for the inspections?
So for, yeah, so the mobile platform is a big focus. So as I mentioned in the beginning, that's one of the biggest driving forces of upgrading, is to ensure that we have good, strong mobile platforms to allow you guys to do a lot of pretty much anything you can do in Insight Via on the mobile platform. So the mobile component will roll out with each desktop component. So back on the timeline, and again, I can send these slides out, but back on the timeline, when the desktop app comes out, the mobile app will come out in conjunction with it.
Thank you very much.
Sure. So I have a question. How easy will it be for regular users to navigate these changes? So our goal in looking at the interface and the usability is to make it a very seamless process. So the nice thing about what we, for the most part, from an end user perspective, how they entered an incident before is going to be how they enter an incident going forward. How they put in a machine or did a work order, if you're using preventative maintenance, is pretty much going to be the same even when we do it. It might look a little bit different, but the functionality should be very similar. And as I mentioned, we are in conjunction with the upgrade. We have a really talented person on my team who's working on training materials, and we're going to make them role-based. So we'll have training materials for the end users. I'd like to have pocket guides for those that are out on in the warehouses or in the elevators doing it, that they could carry with them. So the intent is that it should be a pretty seamless process. As with anything, there's change. You got to get used to it, I went from having one cable system to another not too long ago, and I couldn't find all my TV channels. But once you get used to it, it becomes kind of second nature. So, you know, there will be some getting used to it, but it should be pretty intuitive based on the user interface requests that we're making.
Are you going to have any sort of user acceptance testing?
We are. So as we mentioned, once each app comes out, every client will have the opportunity to test the new look and feel and components of the app in their own test environment using their data. So you'll be able to go out and do all of your normal work in that environment and kind of check that box for yourself to make sure that you're comfortable with it and that you understand how it works before you put it into production and use it for everybody in your company.
And if we find a bug, would we just reach out to our client success manager?
Yeah, sure. And once we get to that point, we will have a process. Yeah, we'll have a process for you guys to report that. And, you know, we are already thinking about testing on our side and really putting it through its paces over here. So, you know, we hope that that's not the case, but understand that, you know, there may be a thing or two here. So once we get to that point where we create these environments and allow you guys to test, we'll have a process for you to report your feedback.
Thank you.
So we had a question about job aids and change support in languages other than English. That is something that we need to talk through. We typically support, you know, Adaptive is available in quite a few languages, and I will say we do not have the help files available in every single language. So we will most likely have it in a couple of the most commonly used languages that we support, but we can certainly look at what options and opportunities we have to expand that. Anything else? These are good questions. All right. If not, thank you guys again for jumping in. Thank you for being valued clients. And, you know, we're very excited about this and all that is going to come with it and all the doors and avenues this will open for you guys to be able to track things better and have safer environments for your employees. And if you have any questions, you think of anything, you can certainly reach out to me, to your client account manager. And as I said, we will work through a way to keep you guys updated as we go through this process in the next few months. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for all your hard work.